And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. Maui Jim Sunglasses, the choice of the best captains. Shimano Rods and Reels, fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
And welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network. Pete Gray here with Rock Cod Rick Mexa in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup with Dr. Bob Blum, world record expert, and Pamela Bensimon from Rancho Leonero. Boy, what a fun show we're having here, and a lot of good times and good calls and good tests and all that.
This has been awesome. Yeah, lots of fun. So much great information talking about my most favorite place on the earth down at Rancho Leonero. And yeah, if you want to join us in this second hour, we sure want to hear from you. 833-288-0973. It's already been a very busy morning in the phones. We've been packed solid since the start of the show, but lots of time in the second hour to get you through. Again, 833-288-0973, or better yet, text the show. Send us a text via the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download, great app to have, and lets you listen to all the archive shows and check out upcoming guests. And you can text us, you shoot us a question and let us know what you'd like to know. We always like it if you include who you are, where you're kind of texting from, but and it is a one-way system that unfortunately we're not able to reply back to you, but lots of fun there if you want to shoot us a text. Not only we talking the ranch, not only we talking IGFA records and fishing and fun, we are also giving away such a great prize today, and that is a full-day trip on board the Liberty at a Fisherman's Landing to one lucky caller at the end of the show today.
All right, great times, and let's go ahead and jump back on those jam-packed phones, Rick.
You got it. Dan in El Cajon is up next on Let's Talk Hookup. What's up, Dan?
Hey, good morning, everybody. I just wanted to thank Pamela for, she was so great when I came down there. I was supposed to go down there in May, and of course with COVID and everything, it got pushed back to July. But I was texting her and calling, and she was so polite and so great to talk to. And then the ranch itself, I mean, it's everything that they say it is down there. So anybody who wants to go down there or thought about it, I mean, you got to go down there. It's just a great place to visit, and the people there are fantastic. And I just wanted to say that, and I'm enjoying the show today.
Thank you, Dan.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Dan.
Well said, Dan.
Appreciate that very much. Hey, Bob, you know, one thing that Bob is also, not only is he the world record holder for the Cortez Sea Chub.
Right, huge.
Not only that, that's his
that's
claim
the
to
main
fame.
title.
That's the main
Let's
title.
be real about
Not
this.
only is he the tournament director for the Rancho Leonero Let's Talk
Equal
Hookup
title, I
tournament.
guess. Yeah,
that's
sure.
a pretty big one. But he's also a notable seasick remedy expert, right, Bob?
Yes, but my expertise doesn't come from phase 3 double-blind studies.
No, it comes from personal experience, right?
You know, whenever I heard of anything, I would read as much as I could about it, talk to people, and then try it on my specimen person, my wife. And one thing I want to say right now, if you've ever been seasick, if you ever think about being seasick, get the C-bands. Pete was just talking about acupuncture, and the C-bands work on the same principle.
Acupressure.
Acupressure, but it's over the acupuncture's point on your wrist, and it comes with directions. And they're inexpensive. And when I was a practicing doctor, I used to tell the pregnant woman who had morning sickness to use them. And as any mom will tell you, morning sickness, not just in the morning. And it didn't always work. And some people would say, well, it's all in your head. But so what? You know, as long as you're feeling,
it's a miserable feeling.
Totally. As long as you're feeling well, what difference does it make? So there's no downside. But there are a number of. Do you want to talk about the different things?
Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Some people don't want to use pharmaceutical stuff. They use ginger, and ginger is the stuff you get when you go to a sushi bar, and people find that it works.
Well, they make ginger chews and ginger candies and all kinds of stuff.
Yes, yeah. And some people find relief from that. And any drugstore and most landings, you can buy Dramamine or meclizine. And meclizine is sold under Antivert, and Bonine is different brand names.
Bonine's the one we carry at the tackle shop.
Okay, yeah, it's a meclizine. And
but those have side effects. They make you sleepy, right?
That's the main side effect. Is drowsiness.
Yeah.
But better than being seasick.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another one that I learned about from listening to the show was Cinnarizine, which is when Kathy Rounds was on, she talked about Sturgeon Forte, which is
Cinerzine, isn't it?
Cinerzine, that's
yeah,
it.
Cinerzine.
And I've also bought it as a Venoxyl, and I bought it down at
Venoxyl at the airport in Cabo, you can buy it, or any pharmacy, right?
Correct.
In Mexico.
And what I've learned about it is
Venoxyl.
Venoxyl, yeah, it is the preferred treatment for the British Navy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's not sold in the United States or Canada.
Uh-huh.
And the FDA doesn't give a reason why they don't sell it. But what I suspect is because it's been linked to Parkinson's disease.
Okay. Uh-huh.
But not when prescribed for seasickness.
Okay.
But when prescribed for something called Meniere's disease, which is a disease of the middle ear, unexplained why, characterized by dizziness, loss of balance, and ringing in the ear.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the one that you're probably all familiar with is the ear patch, transderm scope.
Uh-huh.
And one disadvantage, it makes your mouth dry, but that's not a big deal. You just kind of keep a bottle of water nearby.
Yeah, you need a prescription from your doctor, right?
And the most serious side effect I ever heard from it was a guy out at Alejos Rocks went into acute urinary retention. And by some miracle, there was a guy on another boat, a doctor, who had a catheter, and they were able to make the transfer.
Wow.
And give him relief. And I don't know what would happen if he hadn't been there.
Yeah.
And I hope never to find out.
No, yeah, for sure.
And another side effect, I've been involved in this, is that some people get slurred speech, confusion, and loss of balance, and they were mistaken for having a stroke.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It definitely has some side effects. Now, what about you can also get scopolamine compounded at a compounding pharmacy.
Correct.
And take it in a capsule form, right?
Yes. Originally, it was called Scopace.
Right.
And we could
buy it in a pill.
Yeah, and it was made by a company in Scottsdale. And one day, listening to the show, I heard a guy call inside that he called his pharmacist and they don't make it anymore.
Right.
You can learn a lot from listening to the show.
That's right. You can learn a lot from Let's Talk Hookup.
And immediately I called my pharmacy to
order up.
To order up. But he was ahead of me. He knew. He said, I can only give you a few because we have a limited amount. And, okay. But the same guy called in, gave me the pharmacy. And you can get it from a compounding pharmacy. You need a prescription. And truthfully, this is the one that my wife found to be the most effective.
Yeah, because you can dose it the way that's more appropriate for you. The problem with the transderm, now I'm not a doctor, and we're not making any recommendations whatsoever on medications. Consult your doctor.
Putting info out so you can do your research.
Exactly. We're not making any recommendations on what medications to take. That's up to your doctor. So talk to your doctor. But what I understand with the patch is that a lot of times there's an overdose issue because it's kind of one size fits all, or you cut the patch in half. But the advantage of the compounding is that you can dose it appropriately for your body size, your weight, your sensitivity.
Yes, and the other thing is with the patch, they say put it on a couple of hours before you go out. I would say put it on the night before you go out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it lasts for about 3 days.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Wow.
But the advantage of the capsule is you can wait until you go out on the boat and you think maybe it's going to be a rough day. Take it then.
Yeah.
As long as you take it before you get sick, because once that happens, it won't stay down.
Yeah. Okay.
One thing we say at the shop too a lot of is most of those are all preventatives, not cures. You know, and once you got it, you're there. And at least with the Bonine, the meclizine that we sell, like I always tell people just literally take it the night before. Take it the night before. Let the drowsiness kind of get out of you. Let the drowsiness help you sleep, whatever that may be, and just get it into your system. Because when you're on the boat, you're fine. And if you're extremely susceptible to it, we always tell them take one the night before and then break a pill in half and take it the morning you're going to go. And even if you take it the morning you go, you get a placebo effect out of it. Just like Bob was saying, who cares what the reason is? If you don't get sick, then it was dead on.
Good advice, Dr. Rick.
Yeah, this man has so many talents.
No doubt.
We just went over one of his many talents, the seasickness, and his fishing talents and such like that. We haven't even ventured into that.
I still think Cortez Sea Chub remains supreme.
Yeah, that's it for sure. All right, let's jump back in the phone.
You got it, man. They're packed up. Next up, let's talk to Bob. He's calling us from Lakeside this morning. Hi, Bob. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Fascinating show this morning, Dr. Blum. Two questions for you. One, when you say that the highest tackle that they recognize is 130 pound, I mean, even with the 200-pound leader and such, the minute, like on the East Coast and West Coast bias thing, when somebody's pulling in let's just say the world record bluefin tuna of 1,496 pounds, you've got a 200-plus pound leader being grabbed by a deckhand, pulling it up to gas the fish. I mean, to me, it seems like when they're fighting these fish from fighting chairs with the brackets and the harnesses and everything else, it gives them an unfair advantage to the West Coast angler who has to put the rod on the rail fighting, a 300 or 400 pound bluefin tuna. I mean, the minute somebody touches the rod, it's disqualified, but the deckhand grabbing the leader is acceptable. So that's kind of what I'm wondering about as far as East Coast, West Coast bias.
Yes, once you can grab the leader. We already talked about putting the rod on the rail, whether they'll reevaluate it or not. I don't think they'll allow it, but you're absolutely right. Not only do we put the rod on the rail, but we have rods made specifically for putting on the rail. But it doesn't mean you can't catch the fish. It just means you can't submit it for a world record. Yeah. Most of the time, we're not fishing for world records. Yeah. We're fishing.
I just want to get that thing on the boat.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, there's nothing that says you can't. If your goal was to catch that record, whatever it may be, 400-pound bluefin tuna, there's. You fish to their rule. It's their board and their rules. I mean, there's nothing that says you can't go on a boat with a fighting chair and have a mate
or
and
have
do the hand over
use
hand.
A harness.
Totally.
Yeah. And when they caught that world record on the Vagabond,
Mike
that's
Livingston,
what they did.
Yeah.
They caught it with a harness. He was harnessed up.
Yep.
Didn't touch the rail.
Yeah,
or anything
totally.
Like
the whole nine.
It's very doable on a sport boat.
And I know that there is an exception for our sport boats on gaff length that was made legal, because that was one of the things is, that maybe somebody in the East Coast, we would say no difference, but on the East Coast maybe there would be biases. You were only allowed you were not allowed to have a gaff that was more than 12 feet in length,
8 feet.
Or 8 feet in length, excuse me. And there was an exception made for the SoCal sport fishing boats that a gaff of longer than 8 feet was made acceptable for the records out here.
Oh, really?
Yes,
okay,
that's correct.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, hey, good question, Bob. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Here's a question from Sammy G in Chula Vista. Wanted to know about tagging fish. They do have an IGFA tagging program, right?
They do for marlin.
Yeah,
with those electronic tags.
Yeah,
they do have a program for that.
Yeah, and how do you find more information about that?
On their website.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And what is the website, Bob?
IGFA.org.
Okay, very good.
Awesome.
All right.
All right. Cool. Well, let's jump back into the phones. This time we're going to talk to Mark. He's calling us from Santee this morning. Hey, Mark, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
What's up, Mark?
I'm sorry I'm running. Hey, I got a question for the doc. Say I'm fishing like at Santee Lakes or something, and I catch what I think is a world record. What is the procedure to go after that?
That's a great question.
It is a good question. You want to get it weighed and measured. You want to take pictures of you, the fish, and your fishing tackle, and you want to download the application and send it in with the appropriate fee, which I think is $50, and you have to have the application notarized.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
So that's a procedure.
It's a procedure.
And how do you fight? Is that all on the IGFA website?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good.
I think that photo everything will sure make your life easier.
And also photograph the scale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The scale has to be a certified scale.
And if it's not certified, you can send the scale in.
That's correct.
They'll certify it for you.
A lot of guys now use a Boca grip.
A Boga grip, yeah, indeed. Good question, Bo. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Here's another good question that actually pertains to our show next Saturday and gives me the opportunity to talk about our show next Saturday, which next Saturday we're going to have Matt Quinnell, or a.k.a. Matt Q from AFCO. Matty Q is a great, he grew up with Let's Talk Hookup, and now he's a superstar with AFCO. And this question is, I'm looking for a rain jacket for long-range trips. And I gotta say, in my book, there's a couple that AFCO makes, but that anhydrous, if you can spend the money on the anhydrous, it is unbelievable. Super lightweight, breathable, just a fantastic piece.
See, it's funny. I don't know that the anhydrous would be my first choice on a long range trip. You know me. I love that jacket.
Yeah.
It's the single best rain jacket that I own.
Yeah.
But I always associate a long range jacket with something that keeps you dry but doesn't keep you warm.
Yeah.
You know, and I will look up the one. It's not the Horizon, because that's the fleece. But I'll do my best to look it up for you.
And it's very inexpensive.
They make an inexpensive, very lightweight shell jacket, and it's what I like to wear on my skiff running home in the summertime. Because like we talked about yesterday, like you're going to get rain and spray, and it is a very nice, waterproof, lightweight, easy to maneuver around jacket. But it's the type of thing that, you know, if you're cool, you just put a sweatshirt on and put it over the top. But I when he's only because he said long range, like I almost feel like my anhydrous, best thing in the world when it's raining and snow and Alaska and, you know, heavy duty weather. But I like a lighter weight raincoat when I'm long range fishing.
Yeah.
And AFCO makes some fantastic, and it's relatively inexpensive, $100.
Wow.
So I'll look up the name before the
or
before
better
the show
yet,
ends.
just tune in next Saturday
you're talking.
and talk to the man.
Yeah.
Matt Quinnell
Now
from
you're
AFCO.
talking.
So that'd be really good. But yeah, I didn't think about that. That anhydrous is great for Alaska, for here, you go to Hoopin or whatever, but it is a little heavy if you're going south.
That's the only I mean, again, I think that's the best rain jacket that's ever been made, period. But yeah, for long range and maybe something a little bit lighter.
Yeah,
just
like
a thought.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
All right.
For sure.
All right. Hey, with that, we're going to find out what's going on. Speaking of going down south, we're going to talk to your saltwater guide, Captain Dave Hansen. And today, our FishDope.com report is sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Hey, they have a phenomenal deal going on through the end of today. It goes through the weekend. It includes the $50 smoke pack from Fisherman's Processing. They have the $25 lunch bag special, which is usually something you can only get at Fred Hall, so a really great special there. They're offering 3 of their great rubs for only $20, or you can get 10 rubs for $60, and they've got more great deals, all available at their Liberty Station location, or check out Fisherman's Processing at 619-255-2138, and you can have it shipped right to you. Stock up now for all your favorites, including that great poke kit. Makes a great gift, and they came through as always. Fisherman's Processing does. We went in and got some of their smoked cheeses and smoked fish for the big Thanksgiving platter, and it was just such the hit, man. Those guys, they kill it for sure.
Yeah, check it out. Take advantage of those great deals. Make some people very happy. Give them a poke kit for Christmas.
Yeah, I like your style. What's up, Dave Hansen?
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning, Rick and Pete. Hey, we're down here fishing this big tournament right now, the Dorado Wahoo tournament. And 167 boats in the tournament today. So
wow,
that's where everybody's at. If you're wondering where all your neighbors are, they're down here fishing for Wahoo and Dorado.
Wow,
167. Jeez.
That's a big tournament.
Yep, the most ever in this tournament. I guess everybody had some leftover money after the Bisbees, and they all want to fish.
Right on.
So here we are. We're out here dragging them around. We've had a couple short bites, but we're just waiting for the whopper. But let's talk about what's going on up there. There was a tiny little slack in the fishing out at the Cortez for like a day and a half, but it bounced right back. I listened to my buddy Buzz last night reporting limits of bluefin out there on the Cortez. There was 4 or 5 other boats out there that did very, very well. So that Cortez fight is still happening, guys. The weather looks gorgeous this weekend. I know there's some boats out there, so there should be some good counts. And the weather looks pretty decent for most part for halfway through the week anyway. Maybe some wind Thursday or Friday, but that could change. But right now the weather looks bitching out there. Then down south below the border, still day and a half boats still catching that yellowfin. Unbelievable. Hard to believe. There's a little bit of Dorado and some yellowtail mixed in with that. But for the most part along the coast, that water's dumped over. It's very, very cold. There's spots where it's all the way down to 56 degrees on the coast. So most of the coastal fishing right now is strictly rockfish. That's kind of what's going on. But big news, Catalina, squid. There's squid at a lot of the standard spots on the backside of the island, Salta Verde, up Mills Landing, the middle of the back there, just below Cat Harbor. There's squid. Orange, outside of Orange Rocks up to the V's, there's some more squid. Then there's squid on the front side of the island from the front side of the island, from Lion's Head up to Eagle Reef. There's squid there in 100 to 120 feet of water. All that squid is a very, very good sign for all that game fish. A couple of my buddies had a couple of sea bass at West Cove on Wednesday. Not big ones, those schoolie fish, the 20-pounder, 15, 20-pounders, but there were still white sea bass caught in November, and there's sign of yellows down at Orange Rocks and stuff. So it bodes really well for a fun wintertime fishery with that squid showing up all over the place. So that's pretty much what I got for you guys today.
Sure makes that island healthy, doesn't it? Having that bait all over the place. It just activates a lot of fish, and like you say, you can take that out and then go cod fishing, and just that squid sure is a magic ingredient out there.
Absolutely, and it bodes well for the wintertime fishery. I can't even imagine taking a tank of that squid out to the Cortez or the Tanner. Could you imagine what that would look like?
No doubt.
Watch out. Hang on. Hey, of course, fishdope.com. Danny, Jeff, and the boys have had all that information for you. $20 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code HOOKUPNOW. Lowercase, no space. HOOKUPNOW is your $20 code to have the best information on the water. Fishdope.com. And Dave, how do we find you other than being on the water today?
Hey, gang, Your Saltwater Guide, yoursaltwaterguide.com. We're selling, it's amazing the amount of gift certificates, but if you buy your gift certificate before tomorrow night at midnight, you get a free T-shirt with your gift certificate for a year subscription. Let me know. yoursaltwaterguide@yahoo.com is how you find me. Send me an email. yoursaltwaterguide.com is the website. Thanks for letting me be on the show today. Let's go catch a big fish, and I'll talk to you guys next Sunday.
Good luck, Dave.
Great job, Dave.
Bring it home.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Appreciate that very much. All right, let's jump into those jam-packed phones, Rick.
John in Escondido, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hey, John.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. And always kudos on your show, right? My wife's in the kitchen. She's listening to you on Alexa. And, she made the comment yesterday after your show. She's like, I want to go to Sitka. I want to go here, right? So
cool. Come on.
When the wife wants to go, it just makes it easier to go and enjoy. I guess my question is, in your tournament, if I was to go down there with the wife, but she's not going to fish, can I go on a boat by myself, or can I get on another boat with somebody else and fish the tournament?
Pamela?
You would be fishing alone, but I would always encourage the wives to fish because it's so much fun. And even if you don't lift a rod, it's just a great boat ride.
Now, there are occasions when people come and they need a fishing partner, though.
Most of the people that are currently booked are already on teams.
Okay.
They're booking that way.
Okay.
I know the folks from Idaho that called in earlier, she was not sure if she wanted to fish, but we definitely want to encourage husband-wife teams. So,
and what you could do is book a ponga, a super ponga, which is a great way to go if you're solo. Yeah. It's just you and the captain. And then if you meet somebody down at the ranch that's looking for a fishing partner, there you go.
Sure.
You're in. And that happens a lot.
Definitely a possibility.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
The other encouraging thing when you were talking about having, wives and girlfriends and things like that fish, or whoever is just maybe lesser into it, is the weather in the East Cape is more often than not extremely comfortable. You know, and don't get me wrong, it's the ocean, and the ocean can do and all those kinds of things, but as far as the conditions, especially in the better times of year, it is very often flat and very, very easy to deal with.
And in the Sea of
We've gone down to Los Burros and fished from there. Are you close to Los Burros?
Yes, we are just south of Los Burros.
Yeah, 7 miles, I believe. Yeah, not far away at all. Yeah, and if you wanted to go into town, I mean, you can rent quads. They'll bring them out. You can ride quads into town. You can take taxis.
We have a rent-a-car now on,
you have a rental car.
site.
Yeah, it's cheap too, right?
$50 a day, flat rate with 100% coverage.
Wow.
With that said, I mean, and Dallas, my wife, she loves to fish, but her favorite part is trying to decide, you know, whether I want to be in the hammock or in the pool or at the bar or on 2 miles of private beach. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, she loves fishing, but down at the ranch likes, you know, as Pam put it best, it's the best place to do nothing.
Yeah. So we'd encourage you to come down with her, and if she wants to fish or not fish, you'll have fun.
Totally.
It's pretty much a guarantee on that. For sure.
No doubt.
Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. You know, I want to also mention, too, that we've heard that the Rancho Leonero trip's filling up. I know our Kingfisher Charters trip in Sitka, Alaska is just about full. Our Katmai Lodge trip is full. Our Queen Charlotte Safaris trips are full. The message, the Islander kayak trip, I've never seen the response. We only have 6 spots left on that.
Wow.
That's the end
Put
of
that up like last
the end
week.
of next June.
Crazy.
Yeah. What I'm trying to get the message is people want to go fishing next year, and they want to go on trips. I mean, we've all been kind of this COVIDed out here, and I think hopefully next year everything's going to be a lot different. Book your trips now.
Totally.
Because things are filling up, and I'm sure, Pam, not just for our tournament, I'm sure you can relate that to other times in the East Cape, right? Yeah.
Want to get out of the house.
They want to get out.
And right now, Mexico's about the only place you can really go on vacation.
Yeah.
Can't go to Hawaii.
Well, you can now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you have COVID test.
Oh.
But you can't go to Canada. You can't go to Canada.
No.
Yeah, and
Mexico's close.
Yeah, and Mexico's close and easy,
2 hour
and lots of
flights.
flights and stuff like that. Yeah, and I would also encourage you, speaking of another tournament, our Palmas de Cortez October tournament is also filling up quickly too. I know Palmas is just a few rooms left on that. So
Crazy.
That's going to be our 26th annual down there this year. So 26th or 27th. I'm losing track. So many years,
a
right?
lot of years.
But anyway, the point is, go to our website, letstalkhookup.com, click on the trips page and check out all the different trips and grab a spot while you can.
Totally.
Yeah, all right. Let's go ahead and jump back into the phones.
You got it. Let's talk to Sam. Sam's calling us from Irvine this morning. Hey, Sam, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning. I used to follow the IGFA quite a bit to see the records and everything, but I heard that the Spectra was now allowed for backing, but in the old days wasn't the all roller rods, because the mono wasn't quite as durable as Spectra, and it would wear out, so they used all roller rods. And isn't that an advantage now?
Well, you can use a Spectra for backing, and as I said, what they made, and you can use it actually for the fishing line. It's the first 5 meters of line that they test.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Did that cover it for you?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the call this morning. Another quick follow-up question, IGFA question from Danny in San Clemente on our Let's Talk Hookup app text option. Do you have to be an IGFA member in order to submit a possible record?
Oh, great question.
No, you do not. Although I think the fee is a little more.
You get a little better fee.
You get but if you, I think when you pay the higher fee, it includes a subscription to the record book.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
you want to see your name in the record book anyway, so.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And how much is it to be an IGFA member?
I think it's $50.
$50. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
I like it. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. The phones are packed. The texts are piling in. Still plenty of time to get yours. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
Are you looking for an ultimate fishing destination? Well, look no further than Queen Charlotte Safari Lodge in British Columbia. This is Valerie Helpridge. There's so many reasons to join us on your next fishing adventure, but a few of the highlights in fishing with us is the protected, calm, pristine waters for quality Chinook salmon all season, May through September. After you get your limits of salmon, Queen Charlotte Safaris will take you in our comfortable covered heated jet boats to our halibut, lingcod, and rock fishing areas, also crabbing. And we have larger retention than Alaska. Our beautiful lodge overlooks Shingle Bay and Sunspit, and it's so easy to get to. You can fly from almost anywhere from the United States and Canada into Vancouver, then a short flight directly to Sunspit. Our trips are all-inclusive, full days of fishing, custom processing, fishing license, and all your gear is provided. Let our expert chefs pamper you with amazing meals. Our staff delivers wonderful hospitality, all in your Queen Charlotte Safaris package. So call me at 1-877-815-2892 or check us out online, qcsafaris.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
This is Captain Art Taylor of Searcher Sport Fishing. Celia and I would like to thank all of our great customers for helping celebrate Searcher's 50th anniversary. Our 2021 schedule is available now with more limited load trips. The Searcher has a great crew, fantastic food, a family atmosphere to make your fishing adventure complete. Book your trip online at searchersportfishing.com. That's searchersportfishing.com. Or call Celia at 619-226-2403.
When it comes to Southern California sport fishing, two names stand out: Fisherman's Landing Tackle and Shimano. Hi, this is Doug Kern. We have the most complete selection of Shimano saltwater rods and reels, like Talica, Trinidad, and Tranks reels, plus Terramar and Therese rods. Our professional saltwater experts at Fisherman's Landing Tackle have the know-how to help you choose the right Shimano rod and reel for your next trip. When it comes to Shimano gear, you owe it to yourself to visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego or on the web at saltwatertackle.com. Fisherman's Landing is the top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hard-working crew is always looking for ways to improve your fishing experience. We offer the finest open party trips, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet. Fisherman's Landing is now a full-service sport fishing operation offering great half and full-day open party trips. Book online at fishermanslanding.com. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro is home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnights on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and three-quarter-day trips on the Native Sun. Plus, you can charter the Ultra, Spectra, and True Line. There is always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. Take advantage of the Wednesday specials on the Pursuit and Monte Carlo, and kids fish free with a paid adult on the afternoon half-day. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or book online at 22ndstreet.com.
Pete here to tell you about our friends Jim and Mary and their incredible crew at Poway Valley Collision. I hear it all the time. Hey, I took my car to Poway Valley Collision, and you were right. Mentioned you guys, and they gave us the VIP treatment, fixed our car, and even gave us a special price. Believe me when I say Poway Valley Collision is worth the drive from anywhere in the Southland. We know you may not need them now, but when accidents happen, it pays to go to Poway Valley Collision. And I'm not fooling. Our listeners can save hundreds of dollars on your car or truck repair. They work with most insurance companies, including Auto Club, MetLife, and Wawanesa, and more. All you do is call Jim, Mary, or any of their team members, and they do all the rest. No hassles, just top-notch work and VIP treatment. I had my car repaired at Poway Valley Collision, and the job was perfect. So get your vehicle fixed right at Poway Valley Collision, 14211 Garden Road in Poway. Check PowayValleyCollision.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Literally the first time we've had an open phone line since the show started.
Huh?
If you want to get through a great opportunity right now, 833-288-0973. Not only your chance to talk to Pam and talk to Dr. Bob, you're also going to get a shot at winning that great trip. We're giving away a full-day trip on board the Liberty at a Fisherman's Landing at the end of the show today.
Yeah, indeed. Captain Tara will take you fishing and have a good old time. Well, let's go ahead and jump back in the phones.
Bruce in Lemon Grove is up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, Bruce.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great show as usual. Bob, my question is, what's the largest sand bass caught? And does anybody have any information, question 2, on whether the Bay Bass tournament might happen?
Ooh, bay bass tournament.
I hope
haven't
so.
heard a word
yeah,
about
I mean,
that.
I hope so. Like we hope all things that we're into. But I haven't heard. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know one way or the other. But
I can't imagine that there's going to be a big tent with a bunch of people inside.
I wouldn't think so either.
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty tough. You know, those guys always play it by the books and get permits and all that kind of stuff. And my guess would be that would be pretty tough. But you know, maybe we'll put a text through to Dwayne and we can let you know next week or something.
Yeah.
But I
good
sure
question,
hope so.
though.
Yeah, great call for sure.
The largest barred sand bass, it's more officially the barred sand bass, is 13 pounds 3 ounces.
Oh my!
Wow, dude!
But they don't have.
Where was that caught?
Yeah.
He's looking. He's looking as he's researching, and he's looking in the IGFA book.
A really rare spot, Huntington Beach, California.
Oh, okay.
You would imagine a 13-pound sand bass.
Oh my God,
that's a lot of roller.
But they don't.
That's a lot of roller.
It doesn't have a line. They don't have line classes. That's just the old tackle record.
Yeah. Wow, that is amazing. All
It's
right,
a
good
giant
question
one.
though. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Hey, we had a fun text come through from our buddy, the Iron Man, Gary White from Lawndale, says, Dr. Bob, can you please talk about the IGFA catch certificate? It looks like a wonderful way to commemorate an outstanding catch that you can apply online, and that they're great gifts to give to somebody.
Yes, it's true. You know, I only talked about records for the big fish, but they also have other categories. Like one of them is for a grand slam, when you catch 3 species of fish in one day. And this is something, Gary, you've done and we've all done. If you caught a king salmon, a coho salmon, and a pink salmon in the same day, that would be a grand slam. And I'm sure you've done that, and you get a certificate for it. And the most amazing one I ever heard of was called a royal slam, a royal billfish slam. You had to catch in a lifetime an Atlantic sailfish, a Pacific sailfish, an Atlantic blue marlin, Pacific blue marlin, black marlin, striped marlin, white marlin, spearfish, and swordfish in a lifetime.
Wow.
And there was a guy who did it with a fly rod.
Oh
my.
No kidding. A swordfish even.
Yes.
Wow.
Here's something interesting about swordfish. It's the same species all over the world, but they don't behave the same all over the world.
Yeah, quite.
You know, I was reading about one place up in Prince Edward Island where a guy, he baited 16 of them, and 14 of them took the hook.
Wow.
You know, and here it's hard to get them to take a hook.
Yeah.
And I know, Ricky, you caught one that was 300 pounds, and it was really, really a tough fish to bring in. But in other parts of the world, they're not so tough for some reason.
Interesting. Maybe in the colder water up there at PEI
we don't know. They're all over the world, but they behave differently for some reason.
What blows me away so much is now that the deep drop fishery is getting figured out pretty well down here, it's how much having the sink, and it's one of the things that is an interesting thing that is not legal in IGFA angling rules, and that's having a lot of weight attached to the fish. That fish that we got lucky enough to catch on the surface was as tough as a fish as I've ever seen in my life. They don't make them tougher than that. But you can have that same fish that you hook with 10 pounds of sinker, and them fighting against the sinker and coming up from the depth. I mean, I've seen a lot of big swordfish virtually get wound to the boat. You know, it's something about them fighting the sinker and dragging that around.
Well, that's that depth, too. They're in the colder water. Their metabolism slows down and such like that.
It's just crazy to think that same thing, that fish that we had that broke gaffs and couldn't deal with and pulled so hard that, you know, you watch that same fish get caught and comes up from it, and they're just kind of, you know, like you say, it's something about that pressure difference. So I don't know. I don't know what the difference is, but it's crazy to think that those two things could be the same thing and fight so tremendously different.
Yeah, indeed.
I read about one guy who fought a swordfish for 32 hours.
Wow.
Crazy.
And lost it.
It. Wow. That's crazy. Hey, thanks a lot for
Great
the
text. Yeah, good job, Gary.
That.
How about next up, we jump back into the phones and talk to Tom that's calling us from Temecula. Hi, Tom. Welcome to the show.
Morning, guys and gals. Bob, I got a question for you regarding some of the really light test records that have been set. I would assume that most of those fish are taken from private boats where the boat does a lot of the work, yet the record is still legal. And I was wondering what your comments are on that, and if you were actually going after like a 4-pound test in a large tuna, is it just a matter of getting the right fish to get hooked up with that would make it easier to catch that large fish on really lightweight line?
Yeah, absolutely, because if you're on a boat with a lot of other people, you have to consider them as well. I remember talking to a guy who wanted to catch. We used to fish for a fish called an albacore, and he was a private boater, and he wanted to catch the world record on 2-pound test, and it took him all summer. He finally got the fish. And when they tested his line, it tested at 2.6, and they disallowed it. And they said you could resubmit it for 4-pound test, but the fish wasn't big enough for 4-pound test. But absolutely, it's legal to back down on the boats, and we often do that when we go bill fishing because we want to release them quickly before they get too tired out. And in our tournament, that's absolutely acceptable.
One of the things that gets most people when they're fishing really light line for those records is not necessarily the inability to pull on the fish. It's that the fish takes so much line so fast because you obviously you just can't put that much drag pressure on 4-pound line. And with that much line in the water, the fish swimming sideways creates a belly, and the belly in the line creates more drag than the line can hang on to. So the fish just swims a bunch of line off the reel. Just the friction of that line in the water is enough to break that line. That's what usually breaks most of those big fish off.
Yeah. Yes.
Indeed. All right. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning.
All right, let's jump right back in and talk to Simon. He's calling us from Yuma, Arizona this morning. Hey, Simon, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. I got a quick question for the doctor there. We are a new blank manufacturer here in Yuma, Arizona, and we've noticed that there's other manufacturers that have IGFA rated blanks. We were wondering how to get ratings like that for our blanks.
Oh, good question.
I don't understand the question.
They make rod blanks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he wants to be a certified IGFA rod blank.
I don't think there's any restriction. It's just a restriction on length of the rod. But you can use any rod, really.
That's a good question, and I know exactly what you're talking about because I've seen lots of manufacturers say this is their IGFA rod. I don't know that there is a rating that exists from the IGFA. I think those guys are building a rod that's just meant to use with 130-pound class tackle or 80-pound class tackle. Certainly something worth looking into, and we'll try to dig into it for you, Simon, but I don't believe that is a certificate that's achieved by different blank manufacturers.
Yeah. What's the name of your company? Your blanks, Simon.
Taipan rods.
Taipan rods.
Like
cool.
The most deadliest snake. Yeah.
I like it. Right on.
I like it. And you make fresh and saltwater rods?
We are starting to get into saltwater blanks, yes. We've got a few lines of saltwater, just mostly your 15 to 30, your 20 to 40, but yeah, mostly all bass rods right now and all freshwater and inshore. We got a lot of that going on right now.
I hear you, Rick.
But we're trying to get some heavy stuff.
I hear you talk about balance tackle, where you balance the rod and reel together.
Right, yeah.
Indeed.
So, but
right on, Simon.
Notice that there's some IGFA rated blanks out there, or they're advertised as it, and we're like, man, how do we get that? That'd be freaking cool. So,
it'd be worth a phone call to the IGFA and just say, how do I get that? Maybe they just say, okay, well, you just put a rating on it, and if it's IGFA, maybe you just.
My understanding is that's just a recommendation for the tackle, but again, I sure don't know that.
Yeah,
I don't know that for
worth
sure
a call
either.
to IGFA.
Totally.
Yeah.
Good luck, man.
Yeah, good luck with the rods.
brother.
All right, Saipan
Hey,
rods.
great
very
show.
good.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Simon. Appreciate the call this morning. There was a text question that came through. Question about Rancho Leonero's safety. During COVID. Of course, everybody's concerned about travel and all the warnings from the CDC and such like that about traveling. So the first question is it safe to travel to Rancho Leonero?
Yes. The ranch is on 2 miles of private beachfront. It's only 34 rooms. Before we were allowed to reopen back in June, we had the staff was required to go through a 3-day training session, and we had to do some massive cleaning and all that to be certified by the health department to reopen.
The Mexican health department.
Yes.
Probably stricter than our health department.
Very much so. Yes, it was a long laundry list of things we had to do. And there is a list out there on the .gov Mexico website that does list the hotels that are certified by the health department. So, if you're thinking about going somewhere else, make sure that they're on that list, because we are on that list.
Yeah.
And because the ranch is so open, and
open windows, or outdoor dining. Yeah.
And it's only 34 rooms, so there's not that many people there at any one given time anyways.
Yeah. And when I went down in October, I felt safer there than I did here, frankly. Like, you go to a restaurant, they take your temperature, make you wash your hands. Same at Rancho Leonero. All the bars have covering
the
over
plexiglass.
The plexiglass over it, so you don't. So I mean, I think probably the least safe places walking through the airports would probably be the most and being on some of the flights, but
going to Home Depot
or going to Home Depot. But
so you mask up, use your hand sanitizer, and go have a good time.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
I just personally, and it's an individual's choice.
Of course,
I would have no reservations about going. Well, you need a reservation, but I'd have no reservations to go down to Rancho Leonero and enjoy Baja for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no question. Bob, you agree, Doctor?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think you're safer there than you are here.
Okay. All right. Very good. And of course, again, it's personal choices, right? And you all have to make your own personal choices. Let's go ahead and jump back at the phones.
You got it. Well, I got a fun text. This one from our buddy Ken in Santa Barbara says, Dr. Bob, I've had the pleasure of fishing with you many times on the different Let's Talk Hookup trips. And he wants to know, do you have a favorite destination and species of fish to fish for?
My favorite feast to fish for is a Dorado. They're beautiful, they jump, and they're tasty.
Yeah, good qualifications.
And they stay on the surface, when you catch them. And what am I going to say? I have to say, in the south, Rancho Leonero, and up north, I'm going to say Sitka.
Kingfisher Charters.
Kingfisher Charters.
Now, I do have to credit Bob, and good question, Ken. Thanks a lot for the call. I'm sure Ken would agree that Kingfisher Charters is nothing like it because he goes every year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so does Bob. We were introduced to Kingfisher Charters by Dr. Bob Blum.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Really?
He was a guy that put us in touch with Seth at Kingfisher Charters 26 years ago. And he said, oh, Pete, I went to Kingfisher Charters, this place in Sitka, and it's really good, and you should check it out. And so, how was that, Dr.
20? That was spot on. I thought that was him talking.
Okay, so he said, go check this place out. We did, and we've been going ever since. Right?
Yeah, there is no place in Alaska that's cheap, but I think this is the best bargain. From the time you get off the plane until the time you get back on, you don't have to think. Yeah. All you have to do is show up.
Yeah, they just tell you when you're going to eat. They tell you when you're going to fish. They tell you when you're going to go sleep. Everything about it, and super comfortable rooms. Yeah. The boats are top of the line. None better than Sitka.
No.
When you get off the plane, someone meets you. Yeah. When you go back, your fish's boxes are ready. It's all checked.
The best processing there is. Yeah. And the only thing you have to dig into your pocket the whole time you're there is for your alcoholic beverages and tips at the end, and that's it.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah, it's all so inclusive. Sweet. They even pay for your fishing licenses, which is just unreal. Yeah, all part of the package.
Love it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we thank and many of our listeners too that have gone with us. Thank Dr. Blum for introducing us to Seth at Kingfisher Charters.
Good call, Bob.
He's the man.
All right, well, let's jump right back into him. John in Huntington Beach is up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, John.
Hi. It's an honor to talk to you. I had a question for Bob Blum, but I also wanted to say what a great show you have, and I always look forward to talking to your team at the Long Beach Fishing Show. I hope they have it this year.
That's real nice,
John.
Thanks,
my question
buddy.
for Dr. Blum is, has he ever held a world's record himself? And if so, did he target a specific species of fish?
Yes, I did. I once had the 20-pound tippet for yellowtail. And I did target it. And
on a fly rod?
On a fly rod, yes. And what I used for my tippet, I used 15-pound test line because I knew it would over-test. When I retired, I had some things that now we say bucket list, but this is back in 2001, and the movie didn't come out until 2007. On my bucket list was to catch a world record fish, and that was the fish.
Nice.
Yeah, and it wasn't a very big
Where
fish.
Where were you fishing, Bob?
I was on a long-range trip. We were at Benitez, And I caught on my fly rod probably the smallest yellowtail on the trip, but it was still big enough.
How big was it?
13 pounds, 3 ounces.
That's a big yellow on a fly rod.
Yeah, and I've caught bigger ones since, but the record now is on the same day at Guadalupe Island, a guy caught a 39-pound, 6 ounce on a 20-pound tippet.
Huh?
And the same day caught a 39-pound, 8 ounce yellowtail.
How is that possible?
I don't know how you could possibly move a 40-pound yellow on any weight fly rod, period. Let alone one that you would be fishing 20-pound tippet on.
On the same day.
Crazy.
That is
a very impressive catch for sure.
Yeah.
Or a very dumb yellowtail, one of the two. Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning. So what's the biggest fish in the IGFA record book, Bob?
Okay, it's a great white shark caught in 1953, weighing 2,664 pounds, and it was caught on a chopped up sea lion. But of course, you can't use them.
Oh, what a shame that was.
But we wouldn't think of harming a sea lion.
Yeah, what great bait!
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
let's bring that back.
But you can't use mammals for bait anymore. But it is actually, that's the IGFA record. But there's a guy named Frank Mundos out of Montauk Point, and he was back then when sharks were evil, that he was a shark fisherman, and he always said that he was the model for Quint in Jaws. And Peter Benchley said no, he wasn't, but he caught a one that weighed 3,500 pounds.
Oh my gosh!
But he used, but he was a little shaky about what pound test he was using and who was actually holding the rod. So the 3,500 pound great white
didn't qualify.
Yeah, it's the Guinness Book of Record, but not the IGFA.
And of course now they're protected species, so that record,
they're protected.
It'll stand forever.
It'll stand forever. Yeah, for sure. Let's try and sneak in one more quick one, Rick.
You got it, man. How about going back to Huntington Beach? Chuck from Huntington Beach up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Bob. How are you this morning?
Fine, Chuck. What's your question?
I'm one of Bob's long-term friends. We met in Tahiti in 1972, I believe it was. Anyway,
wow.
Bob, how do you know when you go fishing what the world record is? Do you carry a book with you and look it up and try to beat that record? How do you know?
Question.
I actually do.
He carries the book with him.
Because a lot of
I know you do.
A lot of fish were caught when somebody was fishing for something else. So sometimes on the boat, a guy will catch a fish, and I'll sneak down and see if it's a record or not.
That's pretty cool.
And you'll tell him, hey, by the way,
no, I don't.
No, you don't. Because you want
that record
the record. Oh, I see how it goes. All right, very good. Good question. Thanks a lot for the call.
That was fun. Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out who's going fishing on the Liberty. We're giving away a full day trip. You stay tuned. More Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
Your vacation bucket list can't be completed without visiting the Katmai Lodge, Alaska this summer. A world-class wilderness fishing paradise on the banks of the famed Alagnak River. Get in the action, fishing for all 5 species of Pacific salmon, king, sockeye, chum, coho, plus trophy-sized rainbow trout, Arctic grayling and Dolly Varden, both in the Alagnak and nearby waters. Katmai Lodge's Coast Guard and CPR certified guides are fly fishing fanatics and know how to help you reel them in, ensuring your days are fish-filled while you enjoy freshly prepared snacks and barbecued lunches on the river. Back at the lodge, enjoy fireside appetizers and refreshments each afternoon. Delicious dinner prepared by the lodge's exceptional chef. Take a quick fly-out trip to Brooks Falls in Katmai National Park for world-renowned bear watching. And check out our trout fishing specials at katmai.com. That's KATMAI.com. Katmai.com.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know: CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
All of us at the American Angler family
family want to express appreciation to our regular passengers that fish with us year after year and to the new anglers that came out this last season. We realize how precious your vacation time is, and we are truly grateful that you have chosen to spend this time with us. It's important that your experience is memorable, from the moment you call the office to the time you step off the boat. Hi, I'm Lori. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. Come fishing with the American Angler family and make a memory.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute, Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen, for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. All right, the big winner of the the full day trip going fishing on board the Liberty with Captain Taro going to Dave in Poway. Dave, congratulations. You are going to love fishing with Taro and the boys.
Indeed. And world record holder, seasick medication expert, Bob Blum. Thanks for taking the time, Bob. And
this is really fun.
I forgot, Rancho Leonero tournament director.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in, Bob. Sure appreciate everything. And if somebody wants to join the IGFA, wants more information on the IGFA, the website's the best way?
Absolutely. IGFA.org.
Okay. All right, Bob. Keep up the good work.
Great job, Bob. That
sure
was fun.
appreciate it. And Pamela Bensimon, great job. Sure appreciate you coming in. And
thank you for
of course,
having
you've been
me.
a part of Let's Talk Hookup for decades, and we appreciate all your support. But this is actually the first time you actually sat in the studio with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Always,
First time
and
for
you're
everything.
always welcome.
I wouldn't have known that. You did a great job.
For sure. So if somebody wants to book a trip to Rancho Leonero, don't wait, right?
Don't wait. Give me a call, 800-646-2252.
All right. And of course, RanchoLeonero.com. You can check out all the different things that Rancho Leonero offers.
But I will say this, that I have all the rooms blocked for the tournament. So if you want to book for the tournament, you'll definitely need to give me a call.
For Let's Talk Hookup.
Yes.
So if you want to go on the Let's Talk Hookup tournament June 5th through the 9th, then just say, hey, I want to go on the Let's Talk Hookup tournament, the Cutwater Spirits Let's Talk Hookup, the Rancho Leonero tournament,
so cool.
where there's going to be $5,000 in crash and prizes.
And there's 9 rooms left. Hurry up.
Get on it. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thanks very much to Adam in the studio and then Adam on our app. We sure appreciate all your support there. And thanks to all our callers and texters, too. We sure appreciate all their great support. Next Saturday, Matt Quinnell from AFCO will be here. Talk about all that great AFCO gear. And then next Sunday, the man himself, Captain Frank Lopresti from the Royal Polaris will be here. And that's going to be a great show. 7 to 9 a.m. right back here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network. We'll see you then.